Hello and thank you for joining us on the news at 12 p.m. on Africa News 24 TV. I am Lydia Ajayi. 5 governors on Tuesday have presented their 2026 budget proposals to their respective state legislatures, outlining ambitious spending plans centered on infrastructure development, economic growth, and improved social services. Governor of Lagos State, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, presented a 4.237 trillion naira budget of shared prosperity, with 2.2 trillion naira for capital projects and 2.1 trillion naira for recurrent spending. The state projects 3.99 trillion naira in revenue and a 243.3 billion naira deficit. On his own part, Governor of Anambra State, Chukwuma Soludo, proposed a 757 billion naira budget tagged Changing Gears 3.0, dedicating 79% to capital expenditure. The 225.7 billion naira deficit is expected to be financed through PPPs, improved IGR, and support from financial institutions. In the same vein, Governor of Ebonyi State, Francis Iwifuru, presented a 884.8 billion naira proposal highlighting plans for a state-owned cement factory and noting the clearance of pension arrears dating back to 1996. The budget prioritizes education, healthcare, agriculture, and youth empowerment. The Governor of Abia State, Alex Oti, also unveiled a 1.016 trillion naira budget of acceleration and new possibilities, with 80% allocated to capital projects. He said the increase in recurrent spending would support essential operations and cover new employees added to the state's payroll. Governor Umo Eno also presented a 1.39 trillion naira appropriation bill for the 2026 fiscal year to the Akwa Ibom State House of Assembly. Presenting the estimate on the floor of the House, he said the budget is tagged the People's Budget of Expansion and Growth. He stated that 25% of the budget is earmarked for recurrent expenditure, while 75% is allocated to capital expenditure designed to stimulate growth and consolidate ongoing development. Moving on to the security issues in Nigeria, the female students abducted from Government Girls Comprehensive Senior Secondary School, Maga, in Danko Wasagu, local government area of Kebbi State, have regained their freedom following a non-kinetic intervention coordinated by the federal government. Officials confirmed on Tuesday evening that the release of the victims was secured through a joint effort involving the Office of the National Security Advisor and operatives of the Department of State Services. The operation relied on dialogue and confidence-building measures, reflecting the government's increasing deployment of non-military strategies in addressing mass abductions. The incident had drawn widespread national concern and prompted a directive from the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Y.D. Shaibu, for troops to intensify search and rescue efforts across the region. Moving on, the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, has assured that the remaining students and staff of St. Mary Catholic School in Papiri, Niger State, will be safely rescued. Egbetokun spoke during a visit to Governor Mohammed Bago in Minna following the abduction last Friday. He said 50 of the children have already been rescued. He noted that police have sent extra forces and are using more intelligence to bring back the remaining students safely. Responding, Governor Bago thanked the IGP and security agencies for their quick response. He also urged the public to stay calm, pray, and support efforts to rescue the children. Also, troops of the 12th Brigade Nigerian Army have repelled bandits and rescued a kidnapped victim during an operation around Oshoko and Obajano in the Lokoja local government area of Kogi State. A statement issued earlier today by the Acting Assistant Director, Army Public Relations, 12th Brigade, Lokoja, Lieutenant Azan Abdullahi, said the operation was part of ongoing efforts to combat banditry, kidnapping and other violent crimes across the state. Abdullahi said troops deployed at the Kaba patrol base, working jointly with other hybrid forces, conducted a special ambush operation to intercept the criminals and rescue the kidnapped victim. The army spokesman said the victim, who was found weak and distressed, was immediately evacuated to a medical facility for further attention. Moving on, the Southern Governors Forum will meet today in Ikperu, Ogun State to deliberate on pressing national issues. The Ogun State Governor and Chairman of the Forum, Dapo Abiodun, made this known in a statement earlier today. The meeting, which was scheduled for 10 a.m., was held at the Governor's residence in Ikperu. Abiodun added that in addition to the scheduled meeting of the Southern Governors Forum, there will be a joint engagement with the Southern Traditional Rulers Council. This session, he said, will provide an opportunity to deliberate on matters of shared regional interest and strengthen collaboration between political and traditional leadership. In politics, 26 state chairmen of the People's Democratic Party have thrown their support behind the factional national chairman of the party, Turaki, as the party adjusts to its post-convention leadership. In a statement signed by the forum's leader, Tony Azegbemi, the chairman said they remain committed to defending the party, despite what they described as pressure and hostility. They added that the new National Working Committee, led by Turaki, offers stability at a crucial moment for the PDP. The chairman also thanked PDP governors for helping keep the party steady, noting the smooth national convention hosted in Oyo State and the coordination provided by governors from Bauchi, Adamawa, Plateau, Zamfara, and Osun. And now in business, the National Bureau of Statistics said the aggregate value added tax stood at 2.06 trillion naira in Q2 2025. This is according to the VAT Q2 2025 report released in Abuja on Tuesday. The report shows a decrease of 0.03% on a quarter-on-quarter basis from 2.06 trillion naira recorded in Q1 2025. It also showed that local payments recorded were 1.09 trillion naira, while foreign VAT payments contributed 459.95 billion naira, and import VAT contributed 508.55 billion naira in Q2 2025. On a quarter-on-quarter basis, the report showed that real estate activities recorded the highest growth rate at 155.21%, followed by agriculture, forestry, and fishing at 23.64%. This was followed by information and communication at 17.75%. In terms of sectoral contributions, the report showed the top three activities with the largest shares in Q2 2025 were manufacturing at 27.19%, information and communication at 20.76%, and mining and quarrying at 15.04%. In another development, the Central Bank of Nigeria has retained the benchmark interest rate at 27%, extending its pause on monetary tightening to consolidate gains in price and exchange rate stability. Governor Olayemi Cardoso announced the decision after the Monetary Policy Committee's 303rd meeting in Abuja on Tuesday. Cardoso said inflation had slowed for 7 consecutive months to 16.05% in October, supported by tighter monetary policy, improved FX stability, and stronger capital inflows. He also noted a rise in external reserve to $46.7 billion, helped by higher non-oil exports and renewed investor interest. The CBN governor added that business confidence was strengthening, with the Purchasing Managers Index rising to a 5-year high. He also reiterated the CBN's commitment to transparent and evidence-based policies aimed at sustaining macroeconomic stability. And now in sports. After his debut on the Lagos waterways in October 2025, he won series, the world's first all-electric race boat championship, will return to Nigeria for the second successive session as its 2026 calendar will see the world's fastest electric boats compete across 4 continents. The E1 began last year in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia, and Lagos became the first city in Africa to host the championship in October 2025. Team Brazil seized the African spectacle and the penultimate race of the second season to claim their first ever win at the E1 Lagos GP. Team Brady, owned by NFL star Tom Brady, sealed a second consecutive E1 World Championship title earlier this month in Miami, and the series is set for a third session with races in 8 countries, including Lagos, Nigeria, which now hosts the 6th race of the season from October 3rd to 4th, 2026. The new season will begin in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia in January and move to Europe in April, with E1's return to the beautiful setting of Lake Como, Italy, followed by Dubrovnik, Croatia in June. Then the championship heads to the glamorous and iconic shores of Monaco in mid-July, which will see new entrant Team Monaco compete in front of its home crowd for the first time. From there, E1 travels to the African continent with a return to Lagos, Nigeria, which delivered record crowds and an electric atmosphere when it first visited in 2025. Ahead of the new season, the founder of E1, Alejandro Agag, and the CEO of E1, Rodi Basso, said the series will continue to drive sustainability. Chelsea romped to a dominant 3-0 win at home to 10-man Barcelona in the Champions League on Tuesday, while Manchester City went down to their first defeat of the campaign against Bayer Leverkusen. In a battle between the second-place sides in the Premier League and La Liga, Chelsea emerged emphatic winners thanks to goals from 18-year-old Estevao and Liam Delap, after a own goal had given the 2021 Champions League winners a first-half lead. The visitors played just over half the encounter, a player down following Captain Ronald Araujo's dismissal for 2 bookable offences on the stroke of half-time. The first loss of the campaign for Man City, coming out on the heels of Saturday's 2-1 defeat at Newcastle in the Premier League, leaves the 2023 winners on 10 points. Finally, in entertainment, Afrobeat sensation Ayra Starr has confirmed a relocation to New York City to boost her global career. The 23-year-old singer has been a resident of the American city for less than 2 months, citing its familiar energy and large African community as key attractions. She revealed the news during a recent video interview, stating that the city's resemblance to Lagos, her hometown, made the transition seamless. According to her, New York reminds her of Lagos with its similar energy, speed, and cultural rhythm, adding to finding comfort in the city's African diaspora community. She also noted that there is a huge Nigerian presence, making it feel like home. New York reminds me so much of Lagos, so it feels like home. There are lots of Nigerians here. There's a huge African diaspora here, so it feels like home, she said. And that's all on the news at 12 p.m. on Africa News 24 TV. Please stay tuned for more updates. I am Lydia Ajayi. Good afternoon.